Welcome back. Today I will recap episode 3 and 4 of the 2019 French horror streaming television series named Marianne. Before we start, it is a request to please like and comment on the video as it will help us to grow our reach. Third episode starts and we see Tonio and Arnaud fishing, and they discover 5 drowned cows at sea, mirroring what Emma wrote in her new chapter. Meanwhile, Father Xavier comes to the church and he finds Mrs. Chourant inside the confession box. He goes to her and says she already came yesterday, to which she says she did evil things. He tells her that she has no idea what evil is, and that there is a true evil in Eldon that consumes and destroys, so she has to leave now. We then see him reading Emma's new chapter, Renaissance, and during this, Emma's mother returns to the Larsemann home and goes straight into the bathroom. Camille asks Emma if should they call the police, but she asks her to wait, and Mrs. Larsemann requests her to leave her alone. They then call Ronan there and he asks her to open the door, but she asks him if her daughter is still there. She then says that the love everyone talks about, the love of a mother for her child, her daughter has managed to break it. Not all of a sudden, but over time. Emma says sorry to her, to which she says she doesn't want to hear her say she is sorry. Hearing this, Ronan says he thinks she should leave and let him and Dr. Morel handle it. Later, she gets a call from her ex-boyfriend Sebi and she tells Camille that he is inviting them over for dinner. Camille says it's not a good time, to which Emma says she needs to be comforted and she is going to have Sebi. They then go to Sebi's house where he introduces them to her pregnant wife Sophie and her son Hugo, and Sophie tells her that he is a big fan. Now during dinner, we see Emma trying to put Sophie down by asking her if the baby she is carrying is Sebi's. In response, Sophie says that she was 2 years senior to her in school and she had read her article about mothers, and she also taunts her for being an alcoholic. She then gets up to get the dessert, and Sebi asks Emma what she is doing, to which she says she is getting to know her. After a while, we see Sebi and drunk Emma in the garage where she tries to hit on him, but he stops her. Only then Sophie comes there and asks him if Hugo is with him, and they begin looking for him as he went missing. We then see 5 kids walking on the road and one of them is Hugo, and meanwhile, Sebi tells them that a herd of cows jumped into the sea this morning, but cows don't commit suicide. Soon after, when they reach the fire towers, they get shocked to see those 5 kids hanging there, and they quickly get out of their car to save them. Emma gets stuck in the car because of the seatbelt, and when she manages to come out, by then Camille and Sebi have saved all the kids, and one girl goes ahead and hugs Emma. Now when Emma and Camille return home, Camille says she has had it and she is leaving. Emma says she is her friend and she needs a friend right now, to which Camille says she is toxic and she is poisoning her too. Emma says what's going on is not her fault, to which Camille says she doesn't know what's happening in this town, but she has nothing to do with this, and she doesn't want to be in Eldon with her. Emma gets out of the car and leaves, but then she comes back and asks her how does she think she knew about tonight. She knew because she is the one who wrote it and she has to believe her. Camille tells her to get help from someone who can, because she can't, and then she asks her to close the door. After Camille leaves, Emma enters her house and she finds her mom sleeping on the couch. She also finds a note from Ronan saying that they left because her mom asked them to, and that she is okay. The next morning, Emma realizes that what she writes comes true, so she decides to exorcise Mrs. Dodgerin and goes to church to collect the holy water. She also picks up a cross from there. Meanwhile, we see Mrs. Dodgerin making a witch charm in her house when her doorbell rings. She comes out to check and smiles seeing Emma there, but she knocks her with that cross. On the other hand, Camille gets a call and she learns that Emma just resurrected Lizzie Larac on her blog, and that's a breach of contract. After a while, Camille reads her blog and she gets convinced that Emma was telling the truth. Here Emma ties up Mrs. Dodgerin and starts performing an exorcism on her, but she promises her that if she releases her, she will be silent and nice. Emma asks her where is her father, to which she says she said if she wrote by Tuesday, she would release her mother, so she did, and if she go on, she will give her father back. Emma says so she is Marianne, to which she says she is, and she always keeps her promises. Now as Emma moves forward with holy water, Mrs. Dodgerin says not to do it or she will take people she loves, but Emma pours holy water on her causing her to burn. She then grabs the cross and put it on her forehead, but Dodgerin bites her arm, causing her to leave her, and here Mrs. Dodgerin says she is a teenage killer and she just watched without doing anything. This makes Emma furious and she hits her with the cross and knocks her out. However, after a while, she begins shaking and laughing and asks her did she like it, hitting the old woman's face as if it were her mother's. She asks her does she really believes her childish games will change anything. Now it's her turn and she will drown her mouth in a sea of torment. Only then does Emma's phone ring, and Inspector Ronan informs her that he found her father, and while she is leaving, Mrs. Dodgerin says she is warning her that she will punish her, as she never leaves empty-handed. Emma then visits her dad in the hospital and finds that he is in coma. Ronan tells her that when they investigated her mother, they found some acid traces on her body, from which they came to know that she was in a lab. Following the clues, Ronan goes to the old lighthouse school where he found Mr. Larseman on the floor in a dilapidated lab, naked and bloody like his wife and surrounded by more of the witch charms. He then tells her that many people saw Mrs. Dodgerin being attacked by a young woman with a red hoodie and says it's really complicated and let's not make it worse. Now when she returns home, she gets shocked to see blood splattered on the front steps. She walks in and finds that the blood is all over the house, and following it, she reaches her mom's corpse. Suddenly, she hears a maniacal laugh coming from upstairs, and when she goes there to check, she sees Marianne with a knife covered with blood. She puts the knife down and says she had promised her and begins laughing. In a fit of rage, Emma runs to her and starts strangling her, but Marianne tells her to kill the old lady and then she will inhabit her father's body or her friends and she will always be with her. Meanwhile, we see 𝐂𝐿, who had second thoughts and came back to the house. She rushes in and pushes Emma, saying what she has done. She then tries to revive Mrs. Dodgerin, but gets spooked when Marianne's face suddenly changes and she falls down the stairs. Mrs. Dodgerin's mouth then opens wide and a strange smoke comes out of it, seeing that Emma gets terrified and the episode ends here. Fourth episode starts and we see that 𝐂𝐿 is also in coma now. Sebi comes there and Emma says sorry to him about last night. Sebi says whatever happens, he is here, and they have to go now as others are waiting for them for her mother's funeral. Later, the gang reunites to help Emma deal with her mother's sudden death. After a while, she goes to the washroom, where she finds Right written on the mirror, and only then the doorbell rings. Ronan comes there and tells Emma that he needs her, as things are evolving. Emma tells Arnaud to have dessert and she will be right there. After he leaves, Emma says her mother is dead, to which Ronan says he knows, but Mrs. Dodgerin has officially been charged with homicide and she wants to talk to her. Emma says she doesn't, to which Ronan says he took notes, and she asks her to tell her she is no longer Marianne, but Marianne took her eyes as she never leaves empty-handed. We then see Emma with Mrs. Dodgerin, who says she is sorry about her mom and for what Marianne made her do. She says she knows God will not forgive her as she has taken the worst possible path. She then tells Emma that Marianne existed long before her, but because of her she came back. She doesn't know how, but she is linked in some way. Emma asks her where is she now, to which she says she is no longer in her, but she is still here, and if she wants her to write, do it, or she will make her life a nightmare. After this, Emma and Ronan decide that they will find where Marianne is, but first, she will go home and will not obey her no matter what, and second, he will search for her. Later, Ronan and a couple of policemen go to Mrs. Dodgerin's house to break open that locked door, and there they find her husband Philip tied to a chair surrounded by the same skin pouches as before, but also with chunks of skin missing which were used to create the markers. He also finds a book with strange writing, the same type found on the walls and on the scars of the victims. Meanwhile, Philip moves his eyes, causing them to get scared. Ronan asks them to hold him and begins cutting those witch charms, due to which Philip gets free and faints. He then takes that book to Pat, but he locks his store and tells him to go away, because since he brought him that thing, his woman left him and he has moved back home to her mother's. Ronan tells him that he wants to show him something and throws that book inside. Pat checks it and tells him it's witchcraft writing. Trial records are kept in churches all over the world. Whoever uses this language achieves their objective, and they must not obey it, as it will only ever lie, cheat, and destroy everything. He also reveals that the one power to have over the witch is to know her name. Later that night, Father Xavier gets confronted by Ronan at the church, and Father asks him why he is here. Ronan says he was told there are records of the Eldon County witch trial here from way back in the 17th century. Father says he can't help him as he doesn't have the report, because he stole it from him, and he suggests him to give it back. Ronan says he really needs this book, and he will return it tomorrow, and when Father tries to stop him, he runs away from there. He then visits Pat, who hands him over the copy of the Nuremberger Hexenhammer, and tells him that the seal in that book is of a demon king called 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒, and whoever used his emblem in this notebook must be connected to him somehow. He also warns, saying that he has a feeling that it's the last time they meet, and then he hugs him, saying goodbye. Meanwhile, Emma gets shocked to find herself in a labor room, where Sophie is about to give birth and all her friends are present there. Emma says she thinks she will go out, but Aura stops her, saying it's a lovely moment they want to share. Now when the doctor asks Sophie to push, the lights there begin flickering. Suddenly, a demon hand comes out and they all get terrified seeing it. Sophie screams in pain, saying it hurts, and then the demon pulls himself out holding Sophie's leg, but it turns out to be a nightmare. She then gets a call from Aurore, who tells her that Sebi is going to be a dad and asks her if she is coming over. Emma visits the hospital, and she finds Aurore and Arnaud waiting outside the labor room. Emma asks them if they are not going in, to which Aurore says no. Emma says it won't go smoothly and tries to go in, but they stop her, saying only doctors and pregnant women are in there. She tries to explain to them that she dreamt that something horrible is going to happen, but they make her sit there, saying she is saying crazy stuff like before. However, she tries to rush in, but Sebi comes out and tells her that he is a dad, and everyone gets overjoyed to know this. Meanwhile, Ronan reads from the book about the trial of Marianne and finds out about her origins. In the year of their Lord 1587, she was born into a blacksmith family. On her 7th birthday, the family's home goes up in smoke, and only Marianne with her cat Mathurin emerges out of the burning house. She was then raised by sisters of the Sacred Court. Over the next 2 years, the plague strikes the convent, and buboes and dark blood in the valley spare neither child nor saint except a teenage Marianne and her cat. At 16, she married Paul Marat, a bell ringer, and very soon a strong and healthy child was born. However, when he turns 3 months old, his wooden cradle is left too close to the hearth and he was devoured alive by the flames. His parents mourn, and Marianne clamors around the village that the cradle sounded hollow. After this, they had 2 more children, and on a solstice night, Marianne takes them in the moonlight to play in the horned wood. Some say not only 3 were in the woods that night, but one thing is certain, Marianne came back alone at dinner time. She slits the throat of Paul Marat, and legend holds that Marianne wed a demon called 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒. Only then something hits Ronan's car and he hears a cat's cry from outside. He continues reading that she was caught and hung, but she vowed that she will return to take their children and their grandchildren, as she never leaves empty-handed. The people buried her marked with the Holy Cross, thinking this was enough to get rid of her once and for all. Later that night, Emma wakes up hearing a scary voice calling her name. She then gets terrified seeing Marianne coming out of her closet. But she is visible in the mirror only, and when Emma looks back again, she disappears. However, she suddenly appears again and grabs her head and says she is not writing, so let's play. We then see Tonio working in the harbor when he hears someone approaching him, but when he looks back, there is no one there. He gets scared and starts looking around, but he does not find anyone there. However, we see Marianne behind him when he's going back. Meanwhile, Aura wakes up hearing someone calling her Nana. The door of the room then opens and she hears Lucy's voice again. She then hears some noise from under her bed, and when she checks there, she finds Lucy there. Aura tries to explain to herself that it's just a nightmare, to which Lucy says it's life that is a nightmare because of her and Emma, and that it's her fault. Aura asks her what does she mean, to which she says talk to Emma as she knows. Aura says she is not Lucy and don't stay under there, to which she says she is not under the bed anymore, and then a hand grabs her head, causing her to get spooked. The scene then shifts to the hospital, where we see Marianne visiting Sebi's baby. When Sebi and the nurse arrive in the nursery, they find another skin pouch in the place the baby should be, and the episode ends here. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon never to miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.